welcome to the first edition of Laker Connections for the fall. My name is Lucas McGarry.
And I'm Kenny Gerard, and before we begin today, we'd like to thank the two studs who hosted this show before us, Zach Malmud and Ryan Joyce. And clearly, I'm not Zach Malmud. I couldn't look like that guy, and you're not Ryan Joyce.
I definitely could not look like Ryan Joyce. I don't think I want to look like Ryan Joyce, to be honest, but we are the new hosts of Laker Connections.
And we're matching.
And
look at us. We did not plan this at all.
We did not plan this at all. We just happened to match like that. You have a little pin, so you have a little bit extra.
I do have a little. Look at that.
You look a little cooler than me because you have a pin.
I do try to look really cool. But on a serious note, we wanted to thank those guys for giving us a show. This is a very historic show. First episode jitters, baby. Woo, we're back. This is season 22. This means the 11th year it's been on air because every semester is a new season. So this is one of the most historic shows that WTOP 10 runs, and we're absolutely honored to be sitting here in these two chairs and hosting the show after many great hosts for us. Some who work for ESPN now, some people who are local sports at their home channels. I mean, it's an incredible show to work on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when Mud and Joyce were like, hey, do you guys want to do Laker Connections? It was kind of a no-brainer. I've watched them do it multiple times. It was awesome. They always killed it. So, I mean, for me, it was obviously a yes. I thought about it for maybe 2 seconds. I was like, oh, maybe my schedule. But then I'm like, you know what? I'll figure it out. I definitely want to do Laker Connections and do it with Kenny, who I went to the same hometown pretty much. And I'm like 30 minutes away from him.
Already made it.
I was going to say, 518 on top.
518 representing here at Laker Connections here in the 315. It absolutely is. It's an honor to be on the show. I agree. And we come from working together for, just may not be as wonderful for Lucas as for me, but the Albany Dutchmen who are no longer in the PGCBL. I did the PA announcing, and you were the best fry cook in the 5.
I wasn't even a fry cook. I handed out chips. I handed out chips. Where's my tip money?
Yeah. Well, Lucas, I think it's enough bantering about the two guys here before, so I'll pass the torch to you. Let's hear about you. Who are you, Lucas?
Yeah, my name, again, is Lucas McGarry. I'm a junior here at Oswego, broadcasting major. I am actually on the swim team.
Ooh.
So I feel like we're going to see some swim as well. I haven't really seen too much of it on Laker Connection, so I think we're going to see some swim and dive stories on this show. Don't say maybe. It'll happen. I'm going to make you read them, too.
Ooh.
You're going to read the swim stories, because I'm like, what if they're about me? I can't read about me.
Is this a good?
You're doing a great job.
What is this called?
We get the camera on camera.
What is this called? This is the.
What
is this?
That's sort of.
Is this the doggy paddle?
We don't do that one though.
Why don't you do the doggy paddle?
Because it's useless.
Enough about swimming.
But
and then I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm Kenny Gerard here. I'm the current general manager of WTOP 10. I've been doing this in my freshman year. It's my third year here in the club, and I am also the Vice President and Head Coach of Oswego State Flag Football, which is now in its second year as a program. We have our very first home game coming up in 2 weeks against RIT College here in Oswego. And then we go to NERSA, which is in Amherst, Massachusetts, and I am very pumped up for that. So I've been heavily involved in sports for my whole life, especially here in this club. I've called a lot of hockey games, a lot of basketball. I've done a lot of good stuff here, and I'm very excited to be on this original production in particular. Yeah, Lucas, I mean, that's pretty a quick synopsis of who I am.
Well, I kind of stopped after swimming. I do a lot more than just swim. I'm also a big part of WTOP. I do stuff for WMYO. I've written articles for the Oswegonian. I just wrote a golf article the other day after, Danny just goes, hey, man, can you do a golf article for me? I'm swamped. I am not a golfer.
Oh, come on.
I know. I did golf, but yeah, it was like a 500-word story. It was nothing. It was nice. I wrote it maybe in like 30 minutes. He was just like, I'm swamped, because he's the chief editor over there. Big up Danny Riss, my freshman roommate.
But Danny, also from the
518.
A lot of 518 people here. Dude. That's who we are. I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about.
I'm so excited for this show. I mean, I cannot wait for. How many did you say we were talking about earlier? How many episodes do you think we're going to be able to do?
Between the two of us, if we get 4 seasons since we're only juniors, I don't think either of us mentioned that we're juniors, it would be about 16 episodes, maybe 20 in that range. So buckle up if you're watching at home. You've got a lot of
I was going to say, if you don't like this on Laker Connections, you might want to switch to a different program, because this you want to enjoy it, because we're gonna banter a lot. We're going to argue. It's gonna get fun. It might get heated, especially Laker Showdown.
Oh!
Shout out Mike Neckers. He will be on the show later. Our Mr. Host guy for Laker Showdown.
Moderator.
I'm going to call him Mr. Host Guy when
That's
he comes
okay.
on.
I understand.
That's all I'll warn him.
Yeah? Yeah?
Well, that was it for our first segment. I mean, that's all we really had planned. Just a quick intro. We're going to obviously get right into the action in this next segment, but that's it for our first segment. I'm Lucas McGarry.
We'll see you right after this break here on WTOP 10.
Would you like to try snacks from faraway lands? Or snacks with bizarre flavors? How about snacks in new ways? Or snacks you've never tried before? You don't have to go far to find these snacks. They can all be found here at Snacks on West First Street.
Yeah, we're walking around campus, and what do we see?
All these clubs are looking.
They looking for me.
There's hockey,
There's improv,
so much to see. So let's go try them out and see how they be. Come on and please watch.
Our embarrassments free. Tune in to Amateurs on WTOP.
Happy Friday, Lakers, and another beautiful day here in Oswego, New York. I'm DJ Don Perone, and I'm happy that you're starting your weekend off right listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, the Laker Radio Network.
I said, darling, can you see? There's no room for us. There's no room. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you. Now our lives are changing. Promises keep slipping. And I always knew it wasn't you. It wasn't you.
Hello, Laker faithful and everybody at home, and welcome back to Laker Connection Season 22, the very first episode. I'm Kenny Gerard.
And I'm Lucas McGarry. The SUNYAC Conference released their weekly awards for men's and women's cross country this past week, and Oswego's own Faith Coyle was announced for the second time this season as the women's cross country runner of the week. I mean, that's pretty dominant, if I may say so myself. She's looked great. Just this past weekend, she got second at the Fredonia Invite in a 6K. I can't even run a 6K. So, I mean...
I can't run to the fridge.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's about as far as I'm making, but huge shout out to her. She is absolutely killing it for cross country. I will say I'm not the most familiar with them, but I definitely am now, especially if she's won 2 awards like that. I mean, I can't even imagine what more she's going to do, and there's plenty more for her to do. They got SUNY Geneseo Invite coming up next weekend, October 19th. Then after that, they have SUNYACs, and then they have more after SUNYACs, which is pretty rare for most sports. It's pretty much just them that does this. They have Niagara Regional Championships, so it's like even more broad than just SUNYACs.
Yeah, and I think it's something that, you know, especially for our track teams here in Oswego, I think they really don't get enough coverage. I mean, it's an incredible sport to really play and endure through. I mean, a lot of sports, yeah, obviously it involves running and a lot of physical conditioning, but like to go out there and run a 6K and be so dang good at it and just continue to be dominant and go atop of your division week in and week out, I mean, it's an incredible feat for her. She's done great things. I mean, I expect to see plenty more come down to SUNYACs and go in. I mean, you might even see her in the D3s, for sure.
Yeah, and looking at other runners on the team, freshman Elena Gaffney, only a minute behind Faith Coyle in that 6K. Faith Coyle went a 23:01.5. Obviously, fantastic run for her. Elena Gaffney, though, only a minute and 10 seconds behind her with a 24:10. And then another freshman right behind her just 2 minutes later, Jessica Torrey. So a lot of new potential for cross country. They have a ton of freshmen, and on top of that, a freshman with a personal best, Noah Melita, on the men's team. Both teams are really, really solid. Like last weekend, women's team got 7th out of 13th, and I really think that there's plenty of room to improve for them as they get down the stretch. I've watched them train. I go to the pool every single day, and I see them on that track training every single day. I don't want to do their practices. As some of the athletes talk about doing practice swaps occasionally, yeah, not gonna happen. I don't want to do cross country. I'm gonna stay in the pool all day, every day. Maybe you and I can do a practice swap. You get in the pool, I'll do flag football.
Maybe we will one day, Lucas McGarry, but we're going to switch now over to the soccer pitch. And this past Saturday, the Oswego men's soccer hit the road to take on a new conference foe in the SUNY Morrisville Mustangs. After a scoreless first half, both teams found the back of the net to finish in a 1-1 tie. The sole goal scorer for the Lakers was Ian Husselbeck, assisted by Kyle Genrich. The Lakers moved to 6-1-3 and 1-1 in the SUNYAC Conference. And Lucas, I'm going to let you kind of banter a little bit here about the men's soccer team. Looking good so far. A lot of times last year, we saw them ending in a lot of draws. So let's see, what do you think that they can do to really push over the hump, get into the SUNYACs this year, and make some noise?
Honestly, I really, really want to see them score more goals. The top goal scorer for their team in 332 minutes is Chris Smith with 4.
Ooh.
That is not a lot. So I really think for them, as good as their defense is, and their defense is stout, like they have a good record, and obviously they're successful. You saw the way that they've been playing, but once it comes down to playoffs, you need goals. You're not going to win games 1-0, 2-0. You need goals because the other team, your opponent, they're going to be better once playoffs come around, and they are going to be just as good as you, maybe not better, or maybe better. So when they start scoring goals, you need a way to score goals, and if you don't have a goal scorer in mind, going out of the field, go, okay, if we need a goal late, get it to this guy, that is a problem, and I think they need to fix that.
Yeah, absolutely. I know the time-old saying is that defense wins championships, and that's absolutely right. I mean, you do need a good defense to win a championship, but I mean, in college sports especially, I like to believe that you need a good offense to really jumpstart. A lot of defenses, yeah, they're good, and obviously, like I said, defense is very important, especially in soccer, when most of the games are 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, and you rarely see a 5-goal game. You're about to be crazy what we'd say next. But I will say that a good defense is very much needed there, but you really do need some goal scoring, Lucas. And, well, speaking of, why don't you take it away? What happened this weekend also?
Yeah, moving on from men's soccer to women's, the Lakers also took on the SUNY Morrisville Mustangs this past Saturday, but at Laker Turf. The final score read 12. Kenny, am I reading that right?
Yes, Lucas, you did read that right. The Lakers put on an absolute clinic, smoking the Mustangs 12-0 in their senior game. They had 9 different people score, including a hat trick from Keely McConkey. The Lakers moved to 6-4-0 and 2-1-0 in the SUNYAC. And again, we talked a lot about how a lot of the games are really not high scoring, but oh my, is that a high scoring game there, Lucas?
12-0, 9 different people scoring. I mean, we have to look at a little bit the competition. Obviously, SUNY Morrisville, they weren't the best team. They don't have a win on the season. They had like 7 losses, I think 3 draws at the max. But it's still 12 goals. And even the not so good teams can still play relatively good defense. So you have to be fantastic to score 12 goals. And so I really think that, I mean, there's 12 goals. What else can I say about it? It's insanely impressive. I mean, Keely McConkey, hat trick, absolutely ridiculous. And then it was just on and on and on and on, and all the way till the end, just goals and goals. It was just a dominant performance by the Lakers.
It absolutely was, and I think we're going to take a quick break right here, but when we come back, stick around for the week ahead and what's coming up for Oswego State Laker Sports. You're watching Laker Connections right here on WTOP 10.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Jill
Should
told
we
me it
tell
was
him?
Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
I think we're back. Oh! Welcome back into Laker Connections, the 22nd season, and the very first episode. We'd like to welcome you back in here on WTOP 10. But Lucas, let's get right into it, and let's take a look at the week ahead and what's coming up for Laker sports. The Oswego State volleyball team looks to finish their season at 500 as they go to the road to battle the SUNY Canton Kangaroos in a highly contested matchup. Unfortunately for the Lakers, their last matchup was a loss against SUNY in Morrisville, so the Lakers are looking to bounce back better than ever, Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, they're 9-10 right now, and this is their last game before championships. So, I mean, you want to finish 500. 10-10 looks way better than 9-11. It's just so even and so nice at 10-10. So I really feel like they can lock in here. I watched and I called a bunch of their volleyball games like 2 weeks ago. Wow, did they look good. I really think that they can bring that magic back. Callie Vuk-Tavine, God, she was great. Wow, so many kills in that whole tournament. I really want to see more from her. And there were so many more players. Lauren Kropp, Cara Simplicio, Maya Bush, all fantastic players that I saw absolutely just rack up kills in that tournament. It was like a four-game tournament for everyone, so I really think for them, keeping the teammate chemistry that I know they have is really what is needed to finish out the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, we are already looking now as students, honestly, that we are already in, like, midterms. Like, I don't even know what happened to half of the semester. But that also means for fall sports that have been going since, well, a week before students got here. They've been running for a long time. So that means we are getting close to SUNYACs and we're getting close to tournament play. So it's crucial right now. And like we said, they need a bounce-back game. And I think if they can make the bounce-back against SUNY Canton, I think this would be the ideal time for them to do it. It's getting late. And like you said, 10-10 looks a lot better than a losing record. So being 500 or above is what they're looking for, and it might give them that push just into the postseason.
No, I completely forgot to discuss this last lady with the rest of the audience. Priscilla McReynolds, absolutely lethal on the court, averaging 2.98 kills a set. So, I mean, absolutely ridiculous on her part as well. And I really think she is the MVP that they need to keep this alive.
Absolutely, Lucas. And well, let's take a look ahead. What is going on with field hockey this week?
Oswego State field hockey looks to keep their momentum going after a string of wins recently against non-SUNYAC opponents Elmira and Roberts Wesleyan. Now tomorrow they head to Brockport for an important interconference matchup against the Golden Eagles. The Lakers are 4-6 and 0-1 in conference play, so this game is more important for them than ever.
Yeah. I think you put it best. And like we said, field hockey also getting into the late ends of the season. You need to make that playoff push, and I think these late games are what matters most. And we always say, I mean, you got to win every game, obviously. You want to win them all. But being undefeated is not the goal. The goal is to get into the playoffs. I think for the field hockey team that they kind of just need that bounce back right now. I think, Lucas, to just make that little push to just get them into the playoffs right now.
They have only SUNYAC matchups besides one out of conference the rest of the way. They have Brockport, New Paltz, Morrisville, Oneonta, and then that's it. And then William Smith is their one non-conference, but they have 3 conference games, which are huge. You always want to play good in your conference games. They're so competitive. SUNYAC, one of the best conferences in New York, in my opinion. I really think so. Always competitive. So I really think for them, down the stretch, they just had a great 1-0 win, a huge, big battle. I mean, they really, really battled. They scored in the first minute, and then after that, just great defense.
Absolutely, Lucas. And now we bring it back to the men's soccer team. And since we already talked about them earlier in the show, we'll look even further ahead as over the next week and a half, the Lakers have 3 back-to-back SUNYAC conference matchups. First, against the Cortland Red Dragons, then against Fredonia, and then they play SUNY Potsdam next weekend. As we like to call them here in Oswego, the Baby Bears and the baby brother of the whiteout game for hockey. But for this men's soccer team, a big matchup. We've been talking a lot about playoffs as they're coming up. Lucas, how important is this matchup to you?
I mean, it's all 3 of these conference teams you gotta love because SUNY Cortland, they bring competitiveness every single sport they play in. I cannot think of a sport where Cortland isn't good. It's really, really annoying.
Maybe chess?
I wouldn't even beat him in chess.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not beating him in chess, but I think having these two games, Cortland and Fredonia, both at Laker turf, that's where you need to absolutely get wins because home is where you play your best. You know the fans are going to be out there. Laker faithful are always fantastic, no matter where, whether it's Laker turf, Mex, or Laker field, doesn't matter. Anywhere, Laker fans always show up ready to go.
And the home faithful really have to be here for the Lakers. But that is going to be it for our week ahead look. Everybody stick around here in WTOP 10 because coming up after the break is everybody's favorite, and we'll bring out Mike. It's time for Lakers Showdown. Stick around, don't go anywhere.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Shine on that boy.
Look at the bling. Do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep.
10
out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin.
Welcome back into Laker Connections, the longest running show here on WTOP 10 in season 22. It just got underway in the beginning of the very best segment here at Laker Connections, Laker Showdown. And we are joined by our wonderful moderator, Matt Sharamita.
That's not my name, buddy. I'm Mike Neckers. Nice to meet you.
We asked for Sharamita.
No, he graduated. He told me to show up.
He's from the 518. You're ruining.
You're not from the
585.
You're a Red Wings fan?
I am. Go Red Wings.
585. I don't even know those numbers.
Whatever.
Okay. All right. You know what? This is Mike Neckers. He is the host guy.
Whatever.
Yeah,
go ahead, Mike.
That's
go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to start off with our questions. As you boys are aware, there's a clear hierarchy in professional sports in the good old US of A. Those four sports, of course, are football, basketball, baseball, and hockey. So my question for you guys is, which of these four sports is the best? Kenny, why don't you kick things off?
Ooh, I get to go first. Lovely. Easy. Football. Duh. I don't even think it's a debate. I mean, this guy would probably say wrestling if it was on the list. Clearly, he thinks wrestling. Does he like big men who hug and wrestle each other?
More entertaining.
Down to the king, Roman Reigns. Anyway, I like real sports and real people who play the sport. So I'm going to go with the clear answer here, and I think it's the good old American football. I mean, who doesn't like a good football Sunday? We're waiting all day for Sunday night, Monday night football. I mean, we have 55 straight days of football between college and the NFL. I don't even think it's debatable. I mean, of all the college sports you see, with the College World Series.
But the argument's not college.
Nah. You know football's the best sport.
Yeah, that's a great argument, but I think the one thing that needs to be discussed the most is environment. And there is nothing better than a hockey crowd during the playoffs. And I think hockey overall has the biggest and best crowd just in general at any game. Every single time that someone scores, a giant horn goes off.
Yeah, because they get one goal every 20 minutes.
Imagine a horn goes off every single time you score. That's the coolest thing in the world.
Have you not watched the Falcons game?
All right, gentlemen. Time's up. Round 1 is going to go to Kenny.
Thank you. Thank
But
you,
Lucas,
Mr. Matt Shermita.
you brought up a solid point there. And for the next question, we'll head over to the rink. But as much as we love the Deborah F. Stanley Ice Arena, they don't have much of a goal horn, so I'll ask you this. What team has the best goal horn? Lucas, you can start.
I am going to have to go with my favorite team. They're a new team, and they recently won the Stanley Cup playoffs, or championship, the Las Vegas Knights. They have such an awesome goal sound. It's not original, but
no, not at all.
Are any hockey horns original? No. I've heard it.
Yes.
I watched it every single playoff. I watched every single playoff game, and I heard a lot of horns the year that they won that Stanley Cup, and I think that they have the best horn because it's just music to my ears every time they score.
I'm going to give you guys the best fake horn, and I think the only fake horn that gets any pass in the NHL, and maybe it's my bias, but it's the New York Rangers. I think their song, more fan-inclusive than any song in the entire league.
Lame.
You hear that thing ring through MSG,
it's so lame.
you know the Rangers are coming, and you may say it's lame, but it's the best. And it's
still,
not an argument
It's
of
still
which one's
lame.
lame, and this thing is covering my head. Oh, okay, cut. I think that it's the Rangers. I mean, maybe you guys want to Lucas. I think he has a good choice here. I wouldn't even be mad at that, but I think the Rangers do.
Well, I do like both of your answers. My personal favorite is the Buffalo Sabres. I'm a Sabres fan, grew up near Buffalo.
No one said Bruins. That's literally the Lakers goal horn.
Yeah.
It's word for, whatever. Anyway. Okay.
But I think this one is going to go to Lucas.
That's fair.
So you can we can have respect on this show, folks. It doesn't all have to be arguing and
till the next question.
Dismay. Speaking of the next question, let's do it. As much as I love listening to you two dummies talk about sports, I'm sick of it. So last question will be a little different. Who is the greatest musical artist of all time? The person to start is going to get to go first by a game of rock, paper, scissors.
All right, I think here we go.
I don't even know.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Gary goes first.
Greatest musician ever.
Take your time. Take your time, sir.
Honestly, in my opinion, and this is purely based off of a complete bias of one singular song.
Oh no, it's not like a song.
But Hendrix, and it's only because I think that the national anthem that he played at Woodstock was like the greatest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. So I listen to it religiously, and I would prefer it over any other national anthem.
Oh, I just got my answer.
And
okay.
I love Jimi Hendrix. He is a fantastic artist. May he rest in peace.
Man, listen, I had my answer, and I was going to go with courtesy of the red, white, and blue and give you Toby Keith. But when you said national anthem, it just changed inside of me.
Oh, God.
Chris Stapleton. Are you kidding me? I've never heard anybody better in person. He sounds better in person than on the record. I have nothing else. We're out of time. I don't care. It's Chris Stapleton. Done.
Well, Lucas, of course, Jimi Hendrix, a great, great artist. Rest in peace, like you said.
You're actually going to put Chris Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton has the most beautiful voice in all of country music. This one goes to Kenny. Give me your hands. Give me your hands.
So biased. No, I'm not giving you your hand. You're so biased.
Winner!
This is not fair.
It's me.
This is not fair.
It's always been me.
Horrible start. That's a fluke. That's a fluke.
Hey, Lucas. I'll give you a little bit of shout out to your favorite sport. Acknowledge me! Come on! Thank you, everybody, for joining us for the very first episode of Season 22 of Laker Connections. We can't wait to see more of you guys and for you guys to see more of us. We'll be back in just about 2 weeks with some more Laker sports. And with hockey, everybody's Oswego favorite just around the corner. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks right here on WTOP 10 for Laker Connections. Take the bump, Cam. Have a good night, everybody. Have a great night.